Hello and welcome to MOFA session. My name is Rajiv, and as always, students, I am in front of you, right? Bringing some tips and tricks regarding the extra paper of Ministry of Foreign Affairs as aspirant students of English language. Well, without any delay, let's begin this session. As you know, students, as you know, in your extra paper first, which is also called fourth paper, there is English language, and from here, 100 marks questions will be asked. This syllabus has four different categories, or let me say a section, four different sections. The first section is obviously the section of composition. Here, you need to write an essay. In fact, there are two to three questions. Out of two to three questions, you need to pick one and you need to write an essay for it. So you don't need to worry. Out of three, you need to pick one. But let me tell you, when there are options, it creates confusion. Out of those three different topics, तीनवटा फरक टपिकहरुबाट which questions you should pick and which questions you should write. All right, we will be discussing about it in our regular class. But today, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you what kinds of questions from essay will be asked in your examination. So look at here, students. Look at here. There are some areas of probable question. There are some of the areas from where you are likely to ask your essay question. So this is not an academic essay. This type of essays are analytical essays. This type of essays are critical essays, content-based essay. So you need to know the areas. So the first area of questions for essay is from foreign policy and diplomacy. So what kinds of questions you are asked from here? So you may be asked in your examinations, write the Nepal foreign policy executive. You need to know about Nepal, FOREIG, and foreign policies and its objective. Prepare this one, right? What is the Nepal's foreign FOREIG and FOREI and foreign policies and its objective? Questions it could be. Second questions is definitely role of diplomacy. What is the role of diplomacy? You need to write about the role of diplomacy in Nepal. In Nepal, let's say Nepal relations, or we can say that Nepal's international relations. Nepal international relations. This can be another question. Likewise, students, also you are to write Nepal's role. Nepal, you need to prepare Nepal's role in international organization. So this is one of the most important genre from where you are likely to ask an essay question. Not only this one, students, there are few more. Another one is geopolitical and strategic importance. From here, what kinds of questions are asked? Nepal's geopolitical significance. Write an essay about the Nepal geopolitical significance in, let's say, South Asia, one question. Second question is, what are the challenges and opportunities of being a landlocked country? Write an essay on the challenges or opportunities for Nepal, as Nepal is one of the landlocked countries. Obviously, you may also be asked to write an essay about the stance of global issues like climate change, migrations, and even human rights. So this is another areas from where you may be asked questions from. Third, economic diplomacy. Many questions have been asked from here. Here you are going to valorize, or you are going to prepare yourself for the importance of trade, investment for Nepal. Role of MOFA, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in promoting different types of tourism activities or tourism, enhancing Nepal export and trade partnerships with global agents, that type of questions you may be asked from economic diplomacy, even in your essay type of question. Next is soft power. What is soft power, students? What is soft power? And culture. What is soft power and cultural diplomacy? Need to know. Maybe ask the questions. Write an essay on the role of culture and heritage in Nepal's foreign, let's say, relations. How can you promote Nepal as a tourist destination? Use of power. You can write use of power, use of soft power. Write an essay upon the use of soft power for international influence. Can be on topic. Another one is current global issues. There are lots of global issues, students, at the moment. Suppose impact of global issues on Nepal. Lots of impact, suppose like climate change, international security, even Nepal responses to international crisis. International crisis like last time we had pandemic, right? Pandemic, economic instability, and even you may be asked to write an essay about Nepal efforts or contributions to keep, let's say, peacekeeping efforts and so on from current global affairs. Diaspora and remittance is also one of the inseparable integrant of MOFA essay writing. So policies and protections of rights of, let's say, Nepali people working abroad. What is the impact of Nepali diaspora in our national economy? Kinds of questions. Next one can also be about good governments and foreign service. So these are the areas where I have told you, where I just pinpoint where you should prepare for, let's say, writing essay. Now, these seven areas. So whenever you are trying to write an essay, then definitely you are going to prepare from here. You're going to prepare from foreign policy and diplomacy to the good governments and foreign services reform. Well, now having said these things, you may be thinking, right, यस्ताबाट त कस्ता कस्ता क्वेशन्सहरू आएका छन्, you may want to see. So I'm going to show you how the questions were asked in the past from here. Let me take the first one. As I've already discussed about these things, foreign policy and diplomacy. If you look at the questions asked from past 2070 to 2080, you can see that there are some of the questions, right, they were based upon foreign policy and based upon foreign policy, like that in your model questions also. If you look at the model questions, you can see the questions. Diplomacy has been defined as the management of relations between independent states by the process of negotiation. Now, your task is write an essay some major events of modern international diplomacy that have resolved conflict, the process of negotiation, and shaped the world in ways. These are model questions asked in your in MOFA, and this is from foreign policy and diplomacy. In the similar way, students, in 2071, similar type of questions were asked from foreign policy and diplomacy. The questions reads: the chief goal of diplomacy is to further the interest of a nation. What is the chief goal? Further the interest of nation. So an ideal diplomat, he or she should try to serve this cause successfully. Even while trying to achieve his goal, a diplomat should be an acceptable person to the government of the country he or she accredited to. Now, to be a person, he or she should have some qualities so that he or she can trust it here. This is your task, students. Write an essay that discuss these qualities. What are the qualities? You need to write upon the essay. And this essay is also based on foreign policy. It's not the end. It's not the end. Like that, students, in 2072, similar types of essay was asked. The South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SARC, had completed 3 decades of its existence. Yet it is often said that it had not made significant progress in achieving its objectives as defined in the Charter. So what do you think are some of the achievements made by SARC in these past 30 years and from of its establishment? So it was the questions asked in 2072 from foreign policy and diplomacy. हेर्नुहोस् है कहाँबाट प्रिपेयर गर्ने I'm telling you. I have already given you 7 areas. I'm going to show you how these questions were asked in the past. Likewise, in 2079 students, you were asked to write an essay on Sino-Nepal diplomatic relations, Nepal and China diplomatic relations. Each question consists of 20 marks students, so it is very longer essay you are going to write. It's definitely going to be a longer essay. So your preparations for writing an essay should cover all these areas. You must be good at all these areas. Okay. यति भनिसकिसकेपछि now you may be thinking it's fine sir. Okay, how to write an essay? For any of the questions, students, if you think that these questions were from foreign affairs and diplomacy, you can use some kinds of template. I have brought some of the template for introductions, even for conclusion, and some of the parts for the body also. You can write that kind of template. But whenever you are writing essay, you should include some of these things. As you know, the format of an essay is definitely there is an interesting introduction. Intro should be there, right? Justifiable body paragraphs or body 1, 2, 3, depending upon it, and convincing conclusion. So introduction, body, and conclusion are the parts of essays, but we hardly know what to write in our introduction. Let me tell you, students, in your introduction section, you are going to begin your introduction section from hook statement. There should be a hook. Hook is to introduce the topic. You can introduce the topic by defining the terminology that are asked in your questions, or even you can cite some kinds of quotation or references. There is no problem how to begin this. But generally accepted fact is that, and that is what you are acquainted with, that is, you define the terminology, and that's great. Hook is important, but hook without background information is incomplete. So even in your essay, there should be background information. Background information. In your background informations, you can also write why this topic is important. Importance of the topic also you can incorporate in your background information. And most important thing is that is in your introduction, most important thing is your thesis statement. Because this thesis statement tells what you are going to describe in your body paragraph. In your thesis statement, what you are going to write in your let's say essay. So this is how your essay should be constructed. I have picked up on one of the topic, right? I picked one of the topic from the past students, and we are going to write. We're going to elaborate this thing. What is hook? What is background information? And how to write this. So, talking about hook, students. You should start with the relevant, let's say, quote. Some kinds of relevant quotes you can write. Even the recent different types of relevant events you can incorporate in your answers, or some kinds of general statement or definitions on the significance of foreign policy of Nepal. Like, Nepal is a smaller country, it is a landlocked nation, it is situated between the two big giant countries, two major powers like that of India and China. Right? This can be a hook statement. And in your background information is very, very important, students. Whatever question is asked from foreign policy and diplomacy, try to introduce Nepal unique geopolitical position and its traditional, let's say, foreign policies. Traditional foreign policies stand some things, especially with the non-alignment and neutrality that guides which guides its diplomatic interaction. Even the importance of the topic, as I have already told you earlier, you can highlight why the topic is essential in today's world. You can mention factors like regional stability and Nepal's sovereignty and at the impact of global security. And most important thing is that is thesis. In your thesis state, in your thesis statement, clearly states the essay's focus. For instance, if analyzing challenges, you can state the essay will explore key challenges, right? Key challenges Nepal faces in foreign policy. Or if you are discussing about the multilateralism, specify the focus on UN and SAARC role in regional stability. This is how you are going to get it. So I have reduced how to write hook, how to create background information, and thesis state. Now, most important thing is that to apply our template into the question. So I have picked one of the questions from 2071 from Foreign Affairs and Diplomacy. Look at here. What does it say? The chief goal of diplomacy is to further the interest of. First and foremost, you must know what the question is about. It's not like write an essay upon the climate change. No, the question is analytical one. So look at it. What does it say? So for an ideal diplomat tries to serve his cause successfully, even while trying to achieve his goal. A diplomat should be an acceptable person to the government of the country he or she accredited to. These are your focus point where you are going to get it. This is how it is trying to tell you about the qualities of a diplomat. To be a person, he or she should have some qualities so that he or she can be trusted there as an ambassador or as a diplomatic person abroad. So here you are going to write an essay that discusses the quality. Now, what can be the qualities of a good diplomat? What can be the qualities of diplomat, right? That can serve for the interest of his nation. That can be accepted by the country he is sent in. He or she is sent in. You need to think about it. So in your introduction section, there should be a hook, background information, thesis statement, and at the same time, you need to think how long to write. Let me tell you, students, talking about the length of it. This essay is not going to be that smaller one. You are asked to compose your essay in between 800 to 1000 words limit. 1000 words limit. As you are going to create a long essay, even your introductions cannot be just 3 or 4 lines of paragraph. Cannot. You can write 10 to 15%, 10 to 15% of total count in your introduction. That is to say, you can write 80 to 150 words in your introduction. Because when you allocate that many words, that will allows you for your concise, or let's say engaging start to your essay. It can give you, or let's say it can set up the context, and there is where you can make your thesis statement. So usually we are going to create in our introductions counting up to the words limit of 100 to 120. Don't worry, I'm going to show you. If this is an essay, so for each and every essay that is related to foreign policy and diplomacy, you can begin like this. If you can write, it's okay. If you cannot write, then mug up. There is no problem. If you can mug up, then there is no problem. In the hook statement, right, I have cited one line. Diplomacy. What is diplomacy? Diplomacy, it is an art. It is the art of building bridges in a world eager to construct a wall. This can be a hook. This saying reflects the crucial role of diplomats, because we are writing what are the qualities of diplomats, so we are trying to rephrase it. The saying reflects the crucial role of diplomats play in advancing a nation interest while fostering trust and cooperation with other countries. So these two sentences or one sentence hook should be there. That is making the building block of your essay. Now, as you know, students, hook is followed by background information. You can write background information as for Nepal, a smaller landlocked nation sandwiched between two powerful neighbors, effective diplomacy is essential not only for maintaining, let's say, not only for maintaining sovereignty, but also ensuring stable, mutually beneficial relations on a global scale. That's what you can write about background information. At the same time, I have already also told you to write one sentence at least why the question is important. What is the importance of the topic? The topic is what are the qualities of diplomats. So, what is the importance of the qualities of diplomats in fostering our national interest to the international arena? Over here, you can write, diplomats act as both representative and guardians of their country's interests. Right? That's why making their character and skills vital to their success. I have written. Now, most important thing is that अब यसले केका लागि लेखेको, alright, diplomats को character को लागि लेखेको, qualities का लागि लेखेको. So what are the qualities? It could be. You can write that given the significance, responsibilities they shoulder, diplomats must embody a range of qualities that enable them to gain trust and acceptance from the countries they are accredited to. So this essay will discuss these qualities such as adaptability, 1, cultural sensitivity, 2, and integrity. These 3 different topics are there which you are going to explore in your body paragraph, which are essential for diplomats to fulfill their missions and upholds Nepal's standing in international community. In this way, you are going to write one. This is we need to write. The days to come, students, we will be solving each and every questions asked in the past from 2070 to 2080. So till that time, look at here how your introductions appears to be. You may be saying that, sir, your introduction is too long. This introduction is too long. But let me tell you, as I have already told you, this essay is a longer essay. Alright. So this essay is about 800 to 1000 word limits. So you can easily write some 100 to 150 words word limit in your introduction. This red area which I have highlighted here is your hook. It is your hook, students. It is your hook statement. Whereas this one talks about your background information or contextual information. Whereas a blue shaded color talks about the importance of the topic, why the topic is important, and most importantly, this one is your thesis. This one is your thesis. So we are going to run this class very soon, students. For rest of the informations, you can dial in this given number, right, 01-590-1590, or upon these 2 different mobile number. You can also download our app from Apple or from Android. You can easily see, and the rest of the things, whatever questions you have, you can come and talk about it. Having said these things, students, me signing out from here. See you in another video. Bye bye, and as always, namaste.